ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Well, welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon, and you're listening to us right here on Broadway World or over here on the Broadway Podcast Network. And I know everybody in my house, my partner, my family, my friends, everybody is super excited because Jacob Anderson is here to talk about a brand new movie called Timestalker. Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's nice to meet you. Nice to be here.
So I have a confession, Jacob. Don't judge me. I've maybe watched one episode of Game of Thrones in my life, and it's and everyone looks at me like I have 10 heads because we're obsessed with the show in our house. So thank you for giving me cool points out here in New Jersey and in Detroit.
I mean, very welcome.
Well,
yeah, I love Detroit. Shout
you
out
do?
Detroit.
For real?
Yeah. Shout out Detroit, Michigan.
We're in the 313 in Detroit, Michigan right now at Detroit Lions High School. That's where I work during the day. So come on, Detroit. And you're about as far from Detroit as we can possibly be. You are over in Europe right now?
I am, yeah. I'm in London, England.
Perfect. So how did that show and lead you to it? Like, how did your career and Game of Thrones and everything that you've done lead you to something like Timestalker? I mean, this is a feature film. Like, we're in the big screens now, and not that what you've done is iconic in its way, but now you front this movie. And what was that journey like from TV to film?
I mean, to be completely honest, it's kind of the same, like day to day. It's a similar process, and but yeah, I guess the biggest difference is that TV is a much bigger commitment than a film. Like a film, you're there for a few weeks, usually, unless you're doing some kind of like big studio thing. But yeah, it's like a slightly less commitment. You spend a little bit less time with your character. But I kind of enjoy that. I think it's fun.
Absolutely. I want people to know that the theatrical release is on the 14th. The digital release is on the 14th. It's perfect. It's Valentine's Day. So the film's out on Valentine's Day. How do you describe this? Who's Agnes and who are you in the film? And what's the journey and the story like?
That's a very good question. It's quite a difficult film to describe in some ways. But it basically follows the main character is Agnes, and she basically falls in love with the same man through time. And the way that works is that every time she finds him in a new life, in a new point in history, she dies and has to start again in a completely new era. But she kind of like keeps finding him, keeps falling in love with him, and she's sort of not learning a lesson. So it's like a time travel romance with like elements of sci-fi and horror and fantasy, and it's just a lot of fun. I can guarantee it will be the weirdest film you see this week. But it's full of laughs and an amazing cast, including Alice Lowe, who wrote and directed and stars in it, and Nick Frost, who is a British hero, but I think in America is probably best known for Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
So do you describe it as, is it a action, a romance, comedy? Like what do you think this is?
I don't know if I describe it as an action film, but it's definitely a comedy, and it's very funny, and Alice is very funny. I don't know how romantic it is, to be fair. It's about like the lessons you learn from romance when it's not good, when the romance is wrong. It's a bad romance.
Most people need a lot of that in their life because we all have made mistakes in romance. And even on Valentine's Day, we can all be reminded about it. Kind of sounds like Groundhog Day. Like you're just reliving it until you get it right.
Kind of, yeah. It's just that she's not really learning the lessons that Bill Murray's character learns in that. Like, I mean, something about Groundhog Day is he's awful. Like in the beginning, he's terrible, but he kind of like learns over time. I mean, you could definitely read the film in this way anyway. That he kind of learns to hopefully be a better person.
Well, it's a quick 90 minutes. So you get a nice 90 minutes. You get to come in here, see the film, and have a little moment on this 14th or whenever you're watching the film. I was reading about your career, and I was talking about Grey Worm and all of that fun stuff, which is a whole big thing. But you have a lot of credits now. Like you've done your Interview with the Vampire, and you've done the Doctor Who, and you've done like the big franchises, big things that have big fandom, lots of people following and watching, giant sets. How do you pick a project? This seems like it's indie, it's fun, it's quirky, it's not, Game of Thrones, it's not Interview with a Vampire. Like this is a different side of you, a different acting piece of Jacob.
Yeah, but I think to be honest, that's exactly why you want to go to it's why you want to be a part of smaller projects that are being made by exciting storytellers who are just like putting everything into what they're doing. Because, I think unfortunately that's where a lot of the most interesting stories are now. It's like the smaller projects, and there's like, there's a certain level of passion that has to go into making an indie film or making something for a smaller budget and with less time. And that's the kind of thing that I like gravitate towards, is like, I guess things they're trying to tell a story in a different way. And Alice is definitely approaching romance and time travel in her own unique way. And it's not really something like you can't find this film on television or in a big budget. Like, I'm surprised. I read this script and I was surprised that that they managed to find the money for it. I mean, I'm not surprised because it was amazing. It's one of the best things I've read. But I was like, this is so unique. It's not the kind of thing that normally gets supported, sadly. So
and that's what I love about it. And it gets to stretch your muscle as an actor to be able to do something different. Oh man, if I could time travel back in my day, I would have done so many things different, but that's a whole other show, Jacob. I would, when a project like this comes along and your name and your work, do you still have to audition? Was there a conversation? Did people reach out to you and offer you, like, what is it like for you? Do you still self-tape? Do you still do in-person auditions? What's it like business-wise for you to get into a film like this?
It kind of just depends on what the project is. I do still audition. I still send self-tapes occasionally. I don't really audition a lot because I don't audition for things that I don't really want to be in. Like, I know, like, for some people it's like they want to work and I think, like, especially when you're early in your career, it's a great idea to just like be on as many sets as possible and get experience and learn. But yeah, if I really love something and I want to do it, then I'm very happy to audition or send a tape. For Timestalker, I didn't audition because Alice was a fan of Game of Thrones, and I think she thought of me when she saw the show, which is weird because it's the characters aren't very similar, but yeah, we spoke over email, we met over email, and continued to talk. And yeah, she offered me the part, sent me the script, offered me the part, talked to me about it, and that was that. And so yeah, sometimes you get offered things, sometimes I'm happy to audition if something's exciting.
Well,
I would have auditioned for this film.
I hear you. I get it. And it's got great reviews on Rotten Tomato. It's like way up there as a positive film. So if you're into that, if people are into films, this is definitely one for you to see. I know you put a film out here and you put it out and you don't know what's going to happen, but you had your premiere at South by Southwest. This film has been in film festivals. You never get a vibe, I'm sure, when you're on a set, how it's going to be. When you get in these film festivals and people start to see it and you get a wide release? Because when you started this, I'm sure that was not a guarantee. It's an indie film. What's it like for you that this is now going to be able to be seen and people are going to be able to check this out at home and in theaters?
I'm just very excited for people to see it. I think it's like I say, it's a very unique film, and I think that there's going to be people that watch this and they didn't necessarily know that this was going to be like their favorite thing this year. But I think like some people will be like, this film was made specifically for me, and I think like I'm just very excited for those people to see it. And like you say, you don't know what's going to happen with a film or a TV show when you're working on it. More so in film, I guess. You don't know how it's going to be received, how it's going to be released even nowadays. So you just have to hold on to like the thing that you love about it and that you loved about it when you before you started, and just hope that as many people as possible can see it. I'm so happy for the film and for Alice that it's getting released globally. Like, it's so rare for British films, especially British films as ambitious as this, to like reach beyond to reach beyond our own country. So it's very exciting.
Well, you talk about love and work and all the things, but I also know we're on Broadway Podcast Network. We talk to singers all the time. I know one of the things you have to love is music, because you have had a music career aside with your acting career. And how do you're a father, you have family, you have a television and film career, you have a music career. So how do you balance? I mean, you put out records, like you just have new singles out. You have this past year, you have, AP, so how do you do that and keep the schedule and tuck your kids in at night?
It's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's difficult, especially now. I've got 2 kids now. I've got 2 daughters, and like, I'd rather not miss, I'd rather not miss bedtime, and like even just like daytime, like drawing and doing homework and reading and like going to the park. So I'd rather miss as little of that as possible. I think you just like, you find time where you can, and where you can't, then it's fine. Things can wait, I think, is my attitude. My kids are only going to be this young for this bit of time, and I don't want to miss out on that. So they come first, Absolutely. And then everything else is just whatever I can fit.
I love that. I absolutely get that. It's beautiful. I love that you can still sing. Are we gonna get new music? Is that something that's on the horizon for 2025?
Yeah. No, I've been in the studio today. I've been working on my 3rd album at the moment. I've been working on it since October. And again, like today, I dropped my daughter off at school this morning, went straight to the studio, left, picked her up from school. Like it. I wasn't at the studio for as long as I normally am. But you grab what you can. You grab the time you can.
And you're able to then do it, and literally dropped her off, sung, put her to bed, spoke to me. I mean, what better way to end the day, Jacob? This is it. This is as good as it gets. After a full day of singing and creating music. When you put out music, can we get you on tour? Will you come to the States? Come on. The people here want to hear you.
Yeah, of course I will. I've toured in the States before.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back.
All right.
I haven't come over to your part of the States. I need to come to Detroit.
That's what I'm saying. There's fun little spots here in Detroit. Big spots, little spots. I'll be there. I'll bring the partner. He's watched every episode of Game of Thrones. He made me sit through the House of Dragon. I didn't know what I was watching, but I tried. So, you're not in that. So why would I watch that, Jacob?
Exactly. Why would you watch that if I'm not in it?
See, I'm gonna go stream. I'm gonna go stream Game of Thrones, because at least a penny or two will come your way from me, and then that's what we're gonna do. That's my plan. Everybody, here's your plan. We're gonna listen to Jacob's. We're gonna listen to Jacob's music. Listen to his music. His music is out right now. If you haven't watched him in any of the shows, we're gonna watch them all, and then we're all mandatory Valentine's Day and the week thereafter Timestalker is going to be online. It's going to be on demand. It's going to be in theaters. You can find the information below. We're going to be able to find where Jacob is on social media as well, so we can follow you and stay up to date. And then when you come to Detroit, I owe you a Detroit moment, a Coney dog or a Faygo soda or something real American in Detroit like.
That sounds great.
All right, let's do it. Thank you so much for being here. I really mean it. You gave us a lot of street cred. You did give me, my family and the people here are really excited that I get to talk to you. And I'm really
so
excited.
glad.
Yes, come on. I'm gonna have to.
Is there anything else you want to ask me? I've got time.
Well, here's my question for you. I say, as now a representative of your team, because I just made myself. We're gonna listen, entertainment world. Jacob's gonna do offer only. He's a star. He's got shows that have won 55 Emmy awards. He's got movies that have made money. It's offer. You know what he can do. That's what I say, Jacob. There you go.
Offer only.
Offer only. He's not auditioning. That's it. When do you have a recommendation for people who should watch this film in particular? If you say it's not necessarily romantic, is it for theater fans? Is it for people looking to have a good time? Like if you were to recommend it to somebody, who's the people?
I think it's for anybody that is like that's willing to go into something different and new and give it a chance and just like give themselves to the film. Just like go in, expect to be surprised, and just allow the film to take you where it takes you, because it goes to some really wild places.
I love that. Do you get inspired on set with some of your music? Have set life or being involved as a character, getting involved in the life of the character and thinking about that character's journey, does that ever trickle out to the other art that you make? Or is the art you make as a singer, is that the real Jacob? Or those stories that come from your personal life and then you go play pretend on a set?
Yeah, the second one. I definitely like, my music tends to be the most personal thing that I make. And then acting is like, that's somebody else's inner world. And the music is mine.
I got it. It amazes me. I speak to people who act and sing all the time, and what amazes me is that you make the work for you, that you do it all. And then is it a conversation you have with your family and your team about like, I need some time to sing, I need some time to go on tour? And is it something that you plan out, or is it just the work comes and you take whatever is meaningful and moving at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's like a delicate balance of both. Sometimes you're just like, we need to figure out how this is going to work practically. And then sometimes you're like, this thing is so special that I can't, it's undeniable. We'll have to figure it out,
Yes.
And that works for both me and my wife. Like and she's very talented, very, very talented actor. And
she sure is.
Same rules. We figure it out.
Did you two meet in an acting way, or are you both? And when you find out that you're both actors, does that make you want to run? Because I
mean, two actors in the house is definitely something.
Yes. I understand.
No, it doesn't make me want to run. She's my best friend. She's I think she's amazing. I just want to be near to her as much as possible. It's the opposite of that. But yeah, it can be a very emotional household for sure.
Well, I love that though, because it's you get to tell stories and you get to be a part of art. And Ashley, if you don't know about his wife and his family, she's quite the, a nominated award performance actor, and you all know how to throw down out there. And as an actor myself, I look at the work that you both do, and you're all doing it. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for taking the time from your family. Thank you for taking the time from your home to entertain us with your music, with the movies, with the television. And you're a class act. And fine, I'll watch the Dragon Show. Damn it, this is fine. I'll watch the show.
You really don't have to.
Okay, I'll just watch Timestalker.
It's been on. Yeah, watch Timestalker. Watch Interview with the Vampire.
Okay, I love Interview with the Vampire, and I'm old, Jacob. I go back to Tom Cruise days. I'll be there. I'll be watching.
Amazing.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for spending
Robert. It was
time with us.
lovely to
Much love
speak
to
to
you.
you.
You too, and I'll see you in
Shout out
Detroit.
Detroit.
I'll see you in Detroit.